Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking into the disappearance of Lisa Marie Wallace Geise. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right. She's been missing since February 26, 1989 from Gwinnett County, Georgia, endangered missing. She was born December 18th, 1962. She was only 26 years old when she went missing. She had a 1983 Nissan Pulsar accounted for, BMW. Brown hair. She wore contact lenses. Her ears were pierced, and she had a petite build. She was last seen at work, a picture frame company in Norcross, Georgia, on February 26, 1989. It was her day off, but she had gone there to do inventory. That same day, someone started a fire at the company. The fire triggered the sprinkler system, but the sprinklers were not connected to an alarm, so the water poured for hours without being detected. When employees arrived the following morning, the water was ankle deep on the floor. Near her desk, where the fire had started, was a pool of blood. Due to the circumstances, authorities began searching for her immediately. Her purse was found on the roof of a nearby building. Nothing was missing except the keys to her car. The vehicle was found parked a block away. And I don't think she would have parked a block away to go to work. So I'm wondering if somebody drove her car with her in it or drove her car and then parked it a block away when they were done with it. And I don't understand how her purse got onto the roof of the building next door nearby. That's strange, isn't it? In the woods near her workplace was a 10-pound doorstop and a cloth mail card, both stained with blood. A 10-pound doorstop stained with blood, and one of those mail card or cart. I wonder if it meant a cloth mail cart stained with blood or card. I don't know. Some blood stains were also found on the door of a company van. There was no sign of her or her remains. Authorities attempted to test the blood at her work site for DNA, but water had destroyed the DNA in the blood. But I think that, I would speculate that it had been hers, right? It had been raining the day she disappeared, and the blood-stained items outside got wet, which precluded the possibility of doing DNA tests on them. Investigators have never been able to determine whether the blood was hers, but I would think it would be. I would speculate that. Authorities suspected that a former employee of the picture frame company may have had something to do with her disappearance. He had gotten fired from the company for falsifying his resume, and he was also on probation for embezzling money from a previous employer. Investigators believe he may have gone into the company building to erase their computer files as revenge for his termination. The company's computer showed someone was in the building sabotaging the system on the day of her disappearance. They theorized that this individual encountered her and murdered her so she could not inform the police of his actions. The suspect was arrested for a probation violation after she disappeared. He maintained his innocence in her case and refused to cooperate with the investigation. He has no alibi for the time she disappeared. Authorities tested his BMW car with luminol, a substance designed to detect blood traces. The luminol revealed spots on the vehicle, but there was not enough of a sample to determine whether the specks were blood, and luminol can also test false positive for about 100 other substances, notably bleach. Several years after she disappeared, the suspect's ex-wife told authorities she believed that Lisa's body was in a well on property she and the suspect had owned in Talbot County, Georgia. Investigators searched 6 well sites but turned up only animal carcasses. The suspect has not been publicly identified and has never been charged in connection with her case, but even his ex-wife thought he was involved. All of the employees working at that company at the time, as well as her roommates and her fiance, were ruled out as suspects after her disappearance. She had no enemies that they knew of, and she was planning to get married just weeks after she vanished. Wow. She is a native of Pensacola, Florida, and had resided in Gwinnett County for about a year before she vanished. Investigators stated they had received no substantial leads in her disappearance since 1992, and her case is no longer being actively investigated. Oh. Foul play is suspected in her case due to the circumstances involved. Gwinnett, Georgia police are investigating. That is so sad. Why don't they have her height and her weight? Nobody knew how tall she was? Okay. Help solve Lisa's case. This says after graduating from, I'm just going to skim through this. Graduating from the University of Florida with a degree of accounting information systems. She was contacted by a headhunter and asked to travel to Norcross, Georgia for an interview for a position as a computer programmer. Larson Joel, a well-established manufacturer and distributor of custom picture frames. She was offered the position and worked there for almost a year. On February 26, 1989, physical inventory was conducted. Later that afternoon, Lisa returned to the office to run the computer routine that posted the inventory. While the routine was running, Lisa went home for supper, returning to the office later around 9 p.m. to complete the task and enable the computer system to be used when the staff came to work the next morning. Lisa shared her apartment with a friend from Pensacola. Another friend from Pensacola was visiting. They retired for the night, expecting that Lisa would be home soon. They were awakened early the next morning by a phone call from an employee at Larson Joel trying to make contact with Lisa. There had been a fire at her workstation that had activated the sprinkler system, and her workstation area was flooded. It was then that the friends realized that Lisa had not come home and immediately called the police. After about 2 hours of extricating the water at Lisa's work area, someone noticed that blood was mingled with the water. It became apparent that something terrible had happened. The police began the search. Her car was found parked some distance away in another part of the same business park. The license tag had been removed, and the items from the glove compartment scattered. Her friends were frantically calling Lisa's pager. Some men working on the roof of a building in an office complex near Larson Joel building heard the pager ringing and subsequently found Lisa's purse and pager that had been thrown on top of the building. Her jacket was also found discarded nearby. Later in the week, a blood-stained cloth mail cart belonging to that company was found at the bottom of a ravine in the office park. Another item that had been used as a doorstop in the office was located and determined to be the weapon used to hit Lisa. Blood spatters found on the wall indicated the force with which she was hit. The quantity of blood, the pattern of the spatters, and other evidences indicated the strike was on her head and was severe enough to kill her, but there was no body. Blood was found in the company van that had been parked in the back of the building, which made the police realize that the van had been used to move Lisa's body away from the building. Oh, but it seems like they also moved her car for some reason and used it for something as well, maybe. The area was searched, but no trace of Lisa was found, and her remains still have not been located at the time of this writing over 2 decades later. Nothing was stolen from that company the night she was murdered. However, there is evidence of unsuccessful attempts made by an intruder to gain entrance to the computer system. It was apparent that someone had tried to delete the inventory and maliciously removed information from at least one of the computers. The keys to the company van used to remove Lisa from the site were taken from an inconspicuous place in the office where they were normally kept, indicating the intruder was familiar with the building. It appeared that someone had entered the building while Lisa was gone and attacked her when she returned and discovered him in the building. All of the employees were questioned and eliminated as suspects except for one person who had been recently fired. That person had been fired for falsifying his credentials. In addition, unknown to Larson Joel, he was on probation for embezzling from a public utility while he was employed by Larson Joel. More concerning, that individual can be found in newspaper articles on this website. He was the only person he refused to cooperate with the investigation. He was the one person the investigators could not eliminate as a suspect. That individual continues to refuse to speak to the police about that night. Over the past 20 years, the case has been investigated by many different law enforcement officials, as well as private detectives hired by Lisa's family. All have come to the same conclusion regarding the scenario of what happened that evening. Currently, the case is still active and in the hands of criminal investigators of the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office, where evidence is being investigated with techniques that were not available in 1989. Since the World Wide Web also was not available in 1989, this is an untapped avenue of the investigation concerning Lisa's murder. Please read the articles and subsequent events concerning this case found on this website. If anyone has the smallest fragment of information, please make your comments at contact the investigators listed under the Investigator and Agency tab. Her family continues to determine the details. So if you have any information, please contact the police department, sheriff's department, detectives, investigators. And this is the Doe Network. It says she was 26 years old, unknown height and unknown weight. Unknown, they don't even know what color her eyes were, brown hair. And then it talks about what she was wearing. I don't understand why nobody knew how tall she was. So, and then I looked for some Jane Does, and I only saw the one, and I don't think it looks like her at all. But there was this Jane Doe found in Bloomingdale, Georgia, and there's quite a few people that this Jane Doe could be. This Jane Doe was found March 7th in 1889. It doesn't give us an estimated year of death or an estimated PMI, and I hate that when it does that. Found in Bloomingdale, age 19 to 40, 5'1" estimated. And we don't know how tall she had been. And then it said they found the skeletal remains in a wooded area by Interstate 16 in Bloomingdale, Georgia, March 1989. Also found a ring with the initials KES. I don't know what that means. I couldn't find anybody with any kind of initials like KES that was missing. So, and I wonder what was the name of the person that Lisa was going to marry. So I wonder if the initials KES could have been the person she was going to marry. But like I said, I don't 10-karat gold ring with a diamond. And she was engaged and she was about to be married. And the facial shape of this person reminds me a lot of her. It's just a hair, and I don't know if that's the way their hair actually looked. And I'm having a problem with my internet right now, so I don't think that picture is going to come up. No. So, I don't know if it's NamUs or if it's my internet. So there's that Jane Doe, but I look at the Jane Doe, I don't know if you can see the shape of her face and everything like that, and that to me looks a lot like Lisa. But the hair looks different, but I wouldn't know if that's the actual hair of the person or if that's just an artist's rendering of what the person may have looked like, because it was a near complete or complete skeleton. So, but there's other people that this Jane Doe could be, and I'll show you some of the missing people this Jane Doe could be. This person, Cindy, when Powers Byrd went missing January 1st, 1989 from Norcross, Georgia. It would help me if they had an estimated PMI, and I don't know why they don't have that. She was 5'1" to 5'3", but I don't know. There's somebody with a similar name that lives in that area still of where she went missing, and I keep wondering if she's not still alive and living in that area. But like I said, I don't know. I just noticed that there was a person with a similar name that lives like within 45 minutes to an hour. Anyway, she had but it's just speculation that there's a possibility. I don't know because I have no idea what happened, right? So strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes. So I don't know if that Jane Doe could be her or not. And then we have Brenda Lee Alexander Edmondson, missing since January 12th, 1987 from Athens, Georgia, age 21 to 22. They don't know her height either. It says anywhere from 5 foot tall to 5'4". Went missing in Athens. She got up one morning, reportedly told family she was going to buy cigarettes. She's not been seen or heard from since. Unknown eye colors as well. Let's see who else there is. There was Elizabeth Noleeka Crawford, missing from Simpson, South Carolina, July 19th, 1986, age 34, anywhere from 5'2" to 5'6". I don't understand why they don't know the height. Left home to go to a friend's home and never arrived. Her car was found at a manufacturing plant 6 miles away. Date of last contact was July 19th, 1986. Brown hair, which was frosted blonde at the time of her disappearance. Hazel eyes. And you can pause this and read more if you like. Let's see. Donna Geneve, I don't know how to pronounce that. Donna Mullen, missing from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, age 37, July 19th, 1986. Is that the same date? She went missing from Simpsonville, South Carolina, the same day as Donna Mullen went missing from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, 5'1", 110 pounds. Last seen at her home at 700 block of North 2nd Street in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Blonde, brown hair, blue eyes. And you can pause this and read more if you like. Let's see. Angela Renae Ambrocio. Like I said, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right. Lakeland, Florida, November 14th, 1986, 19 years old, 5 foot tall to 5'2". She was last seen by her estranged husband. He claims that he dropped her off in front of Church's Fried Chicken on Memorial Boulevard after they argued. Strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes. After they argued, she went missing. I read that so often. That somebody went missing after an argument. Patti Lou Volansky, March 15th, 1985, Mims, Florida, age 29, 5'2" to 5'5". Last seen by her roommate between 4:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. She had been drinking that evening and left the house on foot. She's never been seen or heard from again by family members. She was reported missing. 10 days later. Okay. Contact authorities if you have information. Let's see. Linda Kay Carroll went missing from Crestview, Florida, September 24th, 1984. 5'2" to 5'6". Neighbors heard screams from her house, and the next day she did not show up for work. She hasn't been seen since. Strawberry blonde hair, green eyes. Wow. And Kimberly Ann Walker went missing from Vero Beach, Florida, age 20. Date of last contact was June 12th, 1984, 5'1" to 5'2". Last seen by her family, associates of her Her associates reported last seeing her on June 16, 1984, getting into a white station wagon. Strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes. Wow. Christine Teresa Huyer, missing, sent from Orlando, Florida since July 3rd, 1982, age 22, 5'1", 108 pounds. Last seen wearing designer jeans, western boots, and a blue halter top. There was a Jane Doe found with western boots, but I don't remember what year or where. Strawberry blonde hair, hazel eyes. Huh, I might look that up later. And, of course, Lisa Marie Wallace Geise. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. This says she could have been anywhere from 5 foot to 6 foot tall. So if you have any information about any of this missing people or the Jane Doe, please contact authorities. Even if you're not sure if it's relevant, you feel like it's hearsay, let them decide what's relevant, what's important. Just any information you can give them, even if you know different people that these people were hanging out with, who they spent time with, just anything that might help them be able to solve the cases. Don't forget to pray for their families, their loved ones. Feel free to leave comments, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.